The Grand Council of Xyleria gathered inside the shining crystal hall. Hundreds of alien leaders filled the chamber. Their eyes glowed in different colors, their bodies shaped by the worlds they came from. The air was heavy with tension, but not because of war or famine. It was because of a single subject: humanity. At the center of the chamber stood Elder Karin, one of the oldest beings alive in the council. His voice was deep and carried a weight that made even the loudest fall silent. He raised his hand, and the crystal walls reflected his words across the hall. "Beware humanity," the elder said. "Do not be fooled by their small homeworld. Do not mock their fragile bodies. They carry inside them a fire we cannot understand." The younger members of the council laughed. A tall alien with silver skin smirked and shouted, "Humans? Those tiny creatures who burn their forests and fight among themselves? They are weak, Elder. They are chaotic. They will destroy themselves long before they ever touch the stars." Many agreed. The chamber echoed with chuckles and whispers. The elders had spoken about humanity before, and every time, their words were dismissed. But Karin did not smile. He leaned forward, his ancient eyes burning. "You laugh now, as you always do. But I have seen what happens when the galaxy ignores the signs. Humanity's history is not one of weakness, it is of survival. They fight storms, they fight hunger, they fight each other. Yet they do not vanish. Every time they fall, they rise stronger. That is their nature." Another elder, Vale, stood beside him. Her voice was softer but equally firm. "Look at their past. No empire has crushed them for long. No disaster has ended their spirit. Even their own mistakes push them to rebuild. They are not like us. They grow faster because they suffer more." The mocking grew louder. A young commander tapped his claws on the crystal table. "And what are we to fear? They have no fleets. They have no colonies. They are locked on their small blue planet, fighting like children over land and water. The galaxy is safe from them." Karin's hand trembled, not with weakness, but with anger. "That is what you believe. But the signs are clear. They look at the stars with hunger. They build machines faster than any race did in its youth. And when they are threatened, they do not surrender. They resist until the last breath. One day, they will look beyond their world, and when that day comes, they will not ask for permission. They will take what they want." The room fell quiet for a moment, but then the laughter returned, louder than before. Some leaders whispered jokes about humans, others called them primitive monkeys and noisemakers of a dying world. But not all were amused. In the corner of the chamber, a young alien scientist named Luro listened carefully. Unlike the others, he did not laugh. He had studied humans in secret, using stolen transmissions from Earth. He had seen their wars, their inventions, their art. He remembered how they sang even while bombs fell on their cities. Something about them unsettled him. Yet Luro did not speak. He was too young, and the council would not listen to him. He only watched as the elders tried once more to raise their warning. Elder Vale slammed her staff against the floor. The crystal hall vibrated. "You mock what you do not understand. Humanity is not dangerous because of their weapons. It is dangerous because of their spirit. Other species fight and break. Humans fight and learn. You think they are small now, but every century they climb higher. They will not stop. Remember my words." Still, most of the chamber dismissed her. One leader yawned, another rolled his eyes. The council moved to other matters, leaving the warnings to fade into silence. But the silence did not last long. Later that night, deep inside the observatory towers of Xyleria, a group of watchers intercepted a strange signal. It came from the human world, traveling through the dark void, bouncing across satellites. At first, they thought it was another one of Earth's countless broadcasts. But when they decoded it, their hearts froze. It was a human voice, clear and sharp, carried on a wave of determination. The words repeated like a vow, "We are coming. We will reach the stars." The watchers trembled. They rushed to the council with the recording. Many dismissed it as nothing more than human pride, just a speech for their own people. But the elders looked at each other with fear. They understood the meaning. It was not just a message for Earth. It was a promise for the galaxy. Karan closed his eyes and whispered, "The hour is closer than you think. You laughed at us today. But one day, you will not be laughing." The chamber was filled with silence again, heavier than before. Some pretended not to care. Some still smiled. But inside their hearts, a seed of doubt had been planted. And far away, on a small blue planet, humanity continued to build, continued to fight, and continued to dream of the stars. The warnings had been ignored. But the final hour was already moving closer. The Council ignored the warnings, but not everyone in the galaxy was blind. Far from the crystal halls of Xyleria, in the dark corners of space, small observation ships were sent to watch the humans more closely. These scouts were ordered only to observe, never to interfere. They were told, "See for yourself how harmless they are." One such ship drifted in orbit above Earth. Hidden in the shadows, its crew recorded everything: human voices, human wars, human laughter. They expected to see chaos, weakness, and division. And they did see it, but they also saw something else that disturbed them. On the ground below, humans worked day and night to build. They cut mountains to make roads, they lit up entire cities with electricity, and they turned deserts into green farmland. The aliens watched as storms tore apart houses, only for humans to return and rebuild the same home stronger. Earthquakes shook the land, but within days, people gathered to help strangers they had never met. The scouts could not understand this. One of them, a tall insect-like alien named Vale, asked, "Why do they not give up? So much suffering, so much loss, yet they rise again." Another replied, "It is strange. Their bodies are weak. Their lives are short. And still, they fight to make every day matter." They recorded images of humans laughing during disasters, sharing food when none was left, and singing songs even while bombs fell in distant wars. For the aliens, this was not weakness, it was something far more dangerous. It was resilience. Back in the council chambers, these reports were shown. The screens displayed videos of humans running into fire to save others, of doctors working through endless nights, of explorers climbing the highest mountains just to plant a flag. But the younger leaders only laughed again. "Look at them. So reckless, so foolish. They risk their lives for nothing. They waste their energy on things that do not matter. How can such creatures ever threaten us?" Elder Karan's face darkened. He stood once more, his voice hard as stone. "You see only their foolishness. But I see something more. A race that refuses to stop. Even when broken, they do not end. Do you not understand? Their strength is not in their technology. Their strength is in their spirit." Luro, the young scientist who had stayed quiet before, finally spoke up. His voice was hesitant but clear. "I have studied them too. Their wars are brutal, yes. Their mistakes are many. But every mistake becomes a lesson. They turn suffering into progress. I believe the elders are right. Humanity will not remain on Earth forever. One day they will come here." The hall fell silent. Many looked at the young scientist with annoyance, some with anger. A commander growled, "Do not spread fear, boy. You are young and foolish. These creatures will never leave their planet." But even as he spoke, the council screens flickered again. The scouts had captured something new. It was not humans fighting wars, nor humans planting crops. It was a group of humans looking to the sky. Rockets stood on launch pads, engines roaring like thunder. The aliens watched as fire lit the skies of Earth. Metal ships rose from the planet, carrying humans into the void. First to orbit, then to the moon, and later to the red planet they called Mars. Each launch was harder than the last, yet they kept trying. Each failure only made the next attempt stronger. The council stared at the images in silence. For the first time, some of the younger leaders did not laugh. A cold unease crept into their hearts. Elder Vale spoke quietly, but her words cut like a blade. "Do you see now? They are climbing step by step. They do not stop. They cannot stop. And when they climb high enough, it will not be the moon or Mars they seek. It will be us." Still, most tried to dismiss the warning. They claimed the rockets were primitive, that humans would take centuries to reach beyond their solar system. They told themselves the elders were exaggerating, that humanity's fire would burn out before it became a threat. But in the shadows, Luro felt his chest tighten. He knew the truth. He had seen the determination in human eyes. He had studied their history. He understood what the others refused to admit. Humanity was not reaching for the stars out of curiosity. They were reaching because it was in their nature to push further, no matter the cost. That night, alone in his chamber, Luro replayed the intercepted human broadcasts. He heard their songs, their speeches, their voices filled with hope and defiance. One phrase echoed in his mind: "We were not meant to stay on Earth. The stars are our destiny." Luro shivered. The elders were right. Humanity was not a distant threat. Humanity was already on the move. And far away, on Earth's surface, another rocket stood ready to rise. Its engines rumbled, preparing to send humans deeper into space than ever before. The watchers recorded every second, their hearts heavy with dread. The council could still laugh, but the sky itself was changing. Humanity had begun its climb. The quiet observation was no longer quiet. It was the sound of destiny approaching. The reports from the scouts could no longer be ignored. Humanity had left its homeworld and was spreading slowly but steadily into space. What once seemed impossible was now reality. Mars had settlements, small but alive. Asteroids were being mined for metals. Satellites covered the skies of Earth, creating a web of communication no other young species had achieved so quickly. Inside the Grand Council of Xylaria, unease spread like a shadow. For the first time, some of the younger leaders did not laugh when the elders spoke. They shifted uncomfortably in their seats, their eyes fixed on the glowing screens that showed human rockets rising and machines digging through asteroids. Elder Karan stood again. His voice was tired but sharp. "You see now. You called them weak, yet their weakness is their greatest weapon. Their hunger drives them. Their failures push them. They learn faster than we ever did. What you see now is only the beginning." The chamber was silent. Then, slowly, one of the younger commanders spoke. His voice was low, uncertain. "Perhaps we underestimated them." The words hung heavy in the air. No one wanted to admit fear, but it was there, hidden in their eyes. Luro, the young scientist, stepped forward. He carried fresh reports. His hands shook as he activated the projector. Images filled the chamber. Humans building machines that worked without rest, machines that could think, machines that could fight. "This is not only human strength," Luro explained. "They are creating minds of metal, artificial intelligence. These machines make war, build cities, and plan strategies. Humanity's reach grows not by numbers, but by their inventions. They do in decades what took others centuries." The council members shifted again, whispering among themselves. Some argued that humans were reckless to trust machines. Others said the machines would turn on them one day, ending their rise before it truly began. But Karan shook his head. "Do not rely on their failure. For every danger, they find a way to survive. Do not hope they will destroy themselves. They will only grow stronger." As if to prove his words, another signal arrived that very moment. Scouts near the asteroid belt had picked up a strange sound, human voices carried on a radio wave. The council listened as the translation came through. "Today, we mark a new beginning. Humanity will not be bound to one world. We will not fear the void. We will go further than anyone has ever gone." The voices were filled with determination, with fire. It was not a speech for Earth alone. It was a message to the stars. Fear spread across the chamber. Leaders who had once mocked the elders now felt a cold weight in their hearts. Some tried to deny it, saying, "They are still weak. Their ships are fragile. Their colonies are small. We have nothing to fear." But deep inside, they all knew the truth. The rise of humanity had begun, and nothing could stop it. Outside the council, across the galaxy, whispers spread. Traders spoke of humans who mined entire asteroids in weeks. Smugglers told stories of human war machines that never slept. Even distant civilizations began to ask questions. Who are these humans? How fast will they grow? Meanwhile, humanity itself was changing. On Earth, scientists worked on engines that could travel faster, farther. On Mars, settlers built domes that turned barren land into cities. In orbit, vast stations were built, armed with weapons for defense. The humans had not yet declared war on anyone, but their presence alone felt like a threat. Every rocket, every satellite, every machine was like a drumbeat of war approaching. The elders warned again, their voices stronger now. Elder Vale spoke with fire. You all feared nothing before. Now you begin to fear. But remember this, fear alone will not save you. You must prepare. You must accept the truth. Humanity is coming. Still, the council hesitated. To prepare for war meant admitting the elders were right. To admit fear was to admit failure. Many were not ready. But not all stayed blind. In secret, some alien commanders began to prepare. Fleets were built quietly, hidden in deep space. Defense networks were planned. They whispered to each other, "If the humans come, we must be ready." And as the galaxy prepared in silence, humanity made its own discovery. From deep space, far beyond the orbit of Pluto, a human observatory picked up faint signals. At first, they thought it was noise, but soon it became clear, it was not from Earth. It was not from humans at all. It was from somewhere else. Humanity had detected alien voices. The Council learned of this discovery only days later. Fear exploded through the chamber. It was too soon, too early. Humanity was not supposed to notice them yet. Karan's face turned pale as stone. He whispered, almost to himself, "It begins. They have seen us." The room filled with shouting, with panic, with denial. But no one could erase the truth. Humanity had heard the galaxy. And now, the galaxy would have to face humanity. The discovery could not be hidden. Humanity had listened carefully, and for the first time, they knew they were not alone. The faint alien signals were enough to confirm their greatest suspicion: life existed beyond Earth. But what shocked the galaxy most was not that humans found the signals. It was how quickly they reacted. Within weeks, human governments and private corporations came together. They built larger telescopes, stronger antennas, and powerful computers to decode the mysterious voices. Messages were sent into deep space, not songs of peace, not words of weakness, but warnings. One message, intercepted by Xylarian scouts, shook the Council to its core. A human voice echoed through the translation system. "We know you are out there. We will meet you. Do not mistake our silence for weakness." The Council sat frozen. Many leaders exchanged fearful glances, their laughter long gone. For the first time, the warnings of Elder Karan and Elder Vale echoed in their hearts. "This is not the language of peace," Vale said grimly. "This is the language of a predator who has smelled prey." Still, some tried to dismiss it. A proud commander with golden scales rose from his seat. "Empty threats," he said. "They are still small. A child throwing stones at the sky. We have fleets larger than their entire planet's industry. Let them shout. They cannot touch us." But Karan's voice thundered across the hall. "Do not mistake confidence for weakness. Do not mistake warning for bluff. Humanity does not shout unless it means to strike." The Council argued for hours, but no decision was made. Half of them still refused to prepare, while the others whispered of defense in secret. Meanwhile, humanity moved faster than anyone had imagined. Shipyards in orbit grew at alarming speed. Engines stronger than any seen before were tested in silence. Rumors spread that humans were building fleets of warships, not for defense, but for expansion. On Mars, colonists were trained as soldiers. On Earth, factories produced drones and machines that needed no rest. Satellites armed with railguns circled the planet like silent guardians. Humanity was not waiting for an invasion. They were preparing to march first. Far across the galaxy, in the shadows of a distant moon, an alien scientist named Luro watched the human progress with growing unease. He had warned before, but few had listened. Now he saw with his own eyes the speed of their rise. He whispered to himself, "They are preparing for something greater than survival. They are preparing for confrontation." The first sign came sooner than expected. A human ship, larger than anything they had ever launched, left Earth's orbit. Its design was strange: sharp angles, heavy armor, weapons hidden beneath its hull. It did not travel toward Mars or the asteroid belt. It traveled outward, past Neptune, into the darkness where the alien signals had come from. When scouts reported this to the Council, fear spread like wildfire. "A warship," one leader gasped. "Impossible," said another. "They should not be capable of this so soon." But the truth could not be denied. Humanity had built its first warship, and it was leaving its home system. The galaxy held its breath. Some alien commanders suggested attacking the ship at once, destroying it before it crossed too far. Others argued to stay hidden, to hope humanity would not find them directly. Karan slammed his staff to silence the chamber. His ancient voice cut through the noise. "The time for laughter is gone. You mocked the fire. Now the fire burns at your door." As the arguments raged, a young messenger rushed into the chamber, trembling with fear. He carried a recording from the outer defense stations. The humans had sent another transmission, this time clear and direct. The words echoed across the hall. "We are no longer alone. We are coming to claim our place among the stars. Stand with us, or stand against us. The choice is yours." The crystal chamber fell silent. No one laughed. No one mocked. Even the proud commanders lowered their heads. Elder Vale spoke the words that everyone feared but no one wished to admit. "This is not just contact. This is confrontation. Humanity has declared itself." And far away, in the endless void, the human warship crossed the dark, its engines glowing like a rising sun. It carried with it not just weapons, but a message, a silent confrontation that would soon explode into something greater. The galaxy had been warned. The first step had been taken. And the next would not be silent. The galaxy had waited in silence, hoping the human warship was only a test, a show of power. But the silence did not last long. Soon, the humans crossed into territory claimed by the Zelthar Dominion, one of the proudest empires of the Council. The Zelthar leaders, furious at what they called an insult to sovereignty, decided to act. "We will remind them of their place," the High Commander declared. "A single ship cannot threaten an empire. We will crush it swiftly, and the Council will see that humanity is nothing but noise." A fleet of 12 Zelthar warships moved to intercept. They were heavily armed, each one larger than a city. Against them, the human vessel looked small, almost fragile. From a distance, it seemed like a hopeless fight. But humanity did not fear hopeless fights. When the Zelthar fleet arrived, they hailed the human ship with threats. "Turn back, or be destroyed." No reply came. Only silence. The humans did not answer their warning. Instead, the warship drifted calmly forward, as if daring them to strike first. The Zelthar commander gave the order. Beams of energy lit up the void, slamming into the human ship. For a moment, the aliens thought it was over. But when the light cleared, the human vessel was still moving. Its armor glowed red, its shields flickered, but it had not fallen. Then humanity answered. Missiles erupted from hidden bays. Small drones swarmed from the ship, moving fast and unpredictable. The Zelthar warships opened fire, but the drones darted like angry insects, slipping past defenses. They struck engines, disabled weapons, and blinded sensors. The human ship itself moved like no alien vessel ever had. Instead of steady formations, it twisted, spun, and used asteroids for cover. Its weapons fired in short, brutal bursts. One Zelthar ship after another fell into chaos. Explosions ripped across the fleet. "What is this tactic?" shouted the alien commander. "It is chaos, Commander," his officer replied. "They fight without pattern." But it was not chaos. It was human strategy. For centuries, humans had fought wars where they were weaker, smaller, and fewer. They had learned how to use every trick, every trap, every ounce of cunning. Against the mighty Zelthar, they used the same skill. Within hours, the battle ended. Out of 12 Zelthar warships, only 3 remained, damaged, fleeing, broken in spirit. The human vessel, scarred but alive, broadcast a message across the stars. The Council gathered to hear it. The voice was steady, cold, and filled with power. "You thought we were weak. You thought we would bow. You were wrong. We do not fear empires. We do not fear fleets. We are humanity, and we are coming. The message spread far beyond the council. Across the galaxy, worlds listened. Some trembled, some whispered, some began to question everything they thought they knew. The proud Zelthar Dominion, humiliated and broken, begged the council for support. "It was only one ship," their leader cried. "One ship destroyed nearly our entire fleet. What happens when there are 10? What happens when there are 100? But the elders did not laugh. Karan's eyes burned with sorrow, not triumph. He whispered, "This is the first strike. It will not be the last." In secret, panic spread among the civilizations. Fleets were reinforced. Defenses were raised. Weapons long kept in storage were awakened once more. But deep inside, many leaders knew the truth. Humanity had proven itself. They had faced the galaxy's fire, and survived. Meanwhile, aboard the human warship, the crew prepared for the next move. They did not celebrate. They did not pause. They were already scanning the stars, already plotting their next course. Their victory was not the end, it was the beginning. On Earth, factories worked day and night. More ships were being built. More drones were prepared. More soldiers were trained. The entire species moved with one purpose: expansion. And in the council hall, silence reigned. For centuries, they had laughed at the warnings. For centuries, they had dismissed the humans. But now, with one battle, humanity had written its answer in fire and steel. Elder Vale broke the silence. Her words echoed like a prophecy. "You thought you could measure them by their size. You thought you could break them with fear. But you forgot one truth: humans rise where others fall. And now, they rise against us all." Outside the chamber, stars burned quietly, as if waiting. Somewhere in the darkness, more human ships were being forged. The first strike had been made. The war for the galaxy was only beginning. The council could no longer deny the truth. The humans had defeated a proud fleet, not with numbers, but with strategy and fire. Fear spread through every chamber, every empire, every world. For centuries, the galaxy had laughed at the elders' warnings. Now, no one was laughing. The elders spoke again, their voices heavy with the weight of prophecy. Elder Karan stood tall, his frail body trembling yet his eyes sharp as blades. "This is the shadow we warned of. The shadow has now become a storm. You cannot hide from it. You cannot delay it. Humanity rises, and with every day, they grow stronger." Reports flooded the council chambers. Human fleets were multiplying. Drones filled the orbits of Earth and Mars. Factories turned into fortresses. Colonies became training grounds. No race had ever built so much, so quickly. On Earth, the night sky was alive with fire. Rockets launched every week, carrying machines, soldiers, and supplies into space. Orbital stations grew like cities in the heavens. Mars, once red and silent, now glowed with domes, towers, and lights of a new civilization. The humans did not hide their intentions. Their broadcasts echoed across the stars. "We will not bow. We will not stop. The stars belong to us, and we will take our place." The council shuddered at the boldness of such words. Never had a young race spoken with such certainty, such defiance. Some empires pleaded for negotiation. "Perhaps they will accept peace," a leader suggested desperately. "Perhaps they only want recognition, not war." But Elder Vale shook her head slowly. Her voice was calm, yet filled with sorrow. "You do not understand them. They do not ask for peace. They ask for respect. And if you do not give it, they will take it. Their peace is not our peace. Their destiny is not our destiny. They will not stop until the galaxy bends." In secret, fleets of the council began preparing. Vast war machines, mothballed for centuries, were awakened. Shipyards lit up across alien skies, rushing to match humanity's speed. Weapons were polished, soldiers trained, defenses built on moons and stations. But even with all this preparation, a fear gnawed at their hearts. They were too late. Humanity was moving faster than anyone could imagine. Then came the most terrifying report yet. Scouts had discovered something hidden deep within the asteroid belt near Mars. At first, They thought it was another mining station. But when they looked closer, they realized the truth. It was a weapon. A superweapon the size of a city, built in secret, powered by reactors unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Its energy readings shook even the strongest hearts. No alien could understand how humans had made such a thing so quickly. The weapon was unfinished, but when completed, it would have the power to destroy fleets in a single strike. The scouts returned with trembling voices. If they finish it, no one will stop them. Not the Council, not the empires, not the galaxy itself. Panic erupted in the chamber. Leaders shouted over one another, demanding immediate war. Others cried for surrender, for peace, for mercy before it was too late. The once proud and arrogant council was now divided by fear. Karan closed his eyes. His voice broke the chaos. The final hour approaches. You ignored the warnings. You laughed at the storm. Now the storm is here, and it will not end until it consumes us all. Meanwhile, humanity continued without pause. The warship that had defeated the Zelthar fleet returned in triumph, greeted not with celebration, but with silence and determination. The crew did not cheer. They prepared for the next battle. Factories on Earth worked day and night. Children grew up learning not only science and art, but strategy and discipline. Every human knew a great war was coming, and they did not fear it. They welcomed it. The galaxy trembled, waiting for the first great clash. Every star seemed to whisper the same truth. Humanity was rising, and nothing could stand in their way. At the far edge of known space, hidden deep within the void, a small human fleet gathered. It was not large, only a handful of ships, supported by drones and supply craft. But their eyes were not on Earth, nor Mars, nor the asteroid belt. Their eyes were on the alien stars beyond. The humans were ready to push forward again. And when they did, the final hour for the galaxy would truly begin.